Hello and welcome back to the Derailment Chronicles, where no train of thought ever stays on track. And if nobody's told you today, I'm glad that you're here with me in this moment. Well, besties, another month has passed. We're another month through the year, another month closer to Christmas, another month closer to Christmas holidays, New Year's and all of that. And it is starting to get cold here in Australia. It is starting to come into winter. But yes, I am in a t-shirt today. It's been just very rainy here in QLD. And so it's just been sloshy and windy and a bit cold. But overall it hasn't been as cold as it usually is at this time of year. So tad thankful for that. But just been really, really rainy, you know. And honestly, people say Queensland isn't cold, but Queensland is cold enough for me. I would have to move further north, more towards the equator, because she is not a girly for the cold, okay? She is a girly for the summer. She is a girly for hot weather, shirt and a shorts. That's my vibes. Anyway, what have I been up to this month? Well, your girlie's still running. I managed to get a sub 40 5Ks, which was the whole point of me doing like the 5K run faster improvement plan with Runner. And it was about halfway through, like week 5 of the plan, and it was like, okay, like your long run today is a 5K, and I managed to get that done in 38 minutes, so I was very impressed. They had to recalibrate my whole running plan, because they're like, oh, you're actually running faster now, you're hitting your goal earlier. So I do have a couple of weeks left of that, so it'd be great if I could get down to like a 37-minute one, shave another minute off my time, but we'll see how we're going. But anyway, as part of it, it makes you, like, on your long runs, run longer. So I had to run, like, 8Ks, and that's the longest I've ever run in my life. But I did it, and I managed to get a PB for 1K, 2K, and a 5K on that. Like, that's where I got, like, the 38-minute 5K. I was like, wowie. You know, and it wasn't like you've got to run, like, a progressive one where you've got to run, like, you do a couple of Ks at the same speed and then you speed up for the next couple of Ks, etc. It was just like an easy run. You go at a conversational pace, you keep running. So I was quite impressed with that, and I have been feeling faster, but maintaining a consistent pace is now the hard part, so I don't get as burnt out. But I have been trying some what do they call them, like the energy gels, because as a low blood pressure girly and as somebody that's meant to have less carbohydrates, the low blood pressure kind of means like I'm already running on empty energy wise, so the quick little boost of the carbs and, you know, the glucose from the little gels helps me on like longer runs that are like 6, 7, 8Ks, just to help me get like maintain a steady amount of energy across the whole thing, so I don't get as burnt out. Because 5Ks I'm fine, but then like the last, like if I'm on an 8K, the last 3Ks I'm just like dead as, and it's like, this is, you know, what my body does. So I have been finding that, you know, having a gel beforehand has helped. Having a gel about 5Ks in has also helped with like maintain my energy, give me more energy to just kind of consistently run at a consistent pace and keep it going. So yeah, I've been pretty excited about that. I've also done a soap making course. This is my 3rd soap making course that I've done. We've done cold press soap, and we get like, I think like, well, it's definitely over 1 kilo of soap. And so I usually do it with Mum, but this time my brother also joined. So there was 3 of us with like a bunch of like Mum's friends, and we've, like, as I've mentioned, this 3rd year we've done it in a row, because the block of soap, like you get a massive block of soap which you cut into like your regular kind of bars, but then you also have leftover stuff usually that doesn't fit in the like big block mold. So then you make little small ones, and then you swap the little small ones with like whoever you want to swap with at the soap making day. Like it's a full day thing. So we've done that. So now we have over 3 kilos of soap drying out in our bathtub, because with cold pressed soap, because it uses like lye in it, you have to let it dry for at least 2 days in the mold. You could theoretically use the soap 2 days after you have made it, but ideally you want it in the mold for a week. You take it out, you cut it all up, and then you let it dry out for 6 weeks. Thing is, if you use it sooner than the 6 weeks, the soap just disintegrates quicker, so you go through the block quicker. But if that's something you don't mind, then that's fine. But, you know, if you want to get, you know, a full year out of the soap, like I have with my past 2 blocks, like I'm still using I've still got 2 blocks on the old soap I'm still using, then dry it out for 6 weeks. But, okay, the funniest thing happened when we were getting the soap out. So, a tip we got from the person we did it with was you put your soap in the freezer for like a couple of hours before you're trying to get it out of the mold. And then when you're ready after that couple of hours to get it out of the mold, you get like, you dip a like blunt knife. You don't need like a sharp chef knife, like just a like butter knife or whatever would do. Although if you're cutting through the actual blocks, then like a sharper knife would do. But you dip it in like warm water so the metal heats up, so then it will just like slide through the blocks a lot easier when you take them out of the freezer. So we were doing that for all the soaps, and like the big soaps came out really easy. But with the little soaps, we put them in these like hinged plastic containers, and so you got to like pry it open, and because it's soap, it's like slippery to begin with, even though it's like foaming up, and you know, the extra soap on the outside if you didn't like fill them nice and cleanly. So anyway, we're trying to get this one person's soap out, and they smelled like a mint slice, like, you know, the cookies, the mint slice cookies. Well, it smelled like that. It looked beautiful, actually. Like they were like, I should have done like should have made the soap look like a dissection of a mint slice biscuit, because it just smells, because they chose peppermint, it smells so much like a mint slice biscuit that it's just, you know, it was a missed opportunity there. But anyway, the design they did looked really nice. Anyway, it comes to getting it out of these little, because it's not our soap, we swapped it, right, with people. It's the little soap in the hinged plastic, right? So I'm there one night, you know, we're all trying to open up different soaps to get them all out, blah, blah, blah. So I take the mint slice soap, and because the other one had been really hard to get out, so I was like, I was, you know, trying to pull it out, whatever. It wasn't coming undone. I was like getting my fingernails in there to like pull it open. Then I had to get a blunt knife to get in and get it open. Well, anyway, managed with the like, what do you call it, like the little knife or whatever, to end up opening up the plastic. But I had cut my fingernail in a couple of places, it turns out. So there was just blood streaming everywhere off this finger. So I'm like, oh my God, I've got to, you know, get a Band-Aid on it. So I went and put a Band-Aid on it. And then the blood was coming out the top of the Band-Aid, okay? It like wasn't Russian, but like there was a lot of blood. And then I found out once it had dried up, okay, we had to put sports tape on it to like just get it to stop spreading everywhere, because I think with those Band-Aids, because I was trying to open soap, it just wasn't sticking as well, but the sports tape really stuck. And the next day when I looked at my finger, I'd cut it in a couple of places, and hence why there was like a lot more blood than expected, because there was multiple cuts. But it was hard to get out. And then we had like a group chat with everybody in this soap making thing, and they were like, yeah, these ones were very hard to get out. And we're like, yeah, don't know what happened. They were just like hard to get out. And then Mum's just like, I can't really take you anywhere. I'll just do it from now on. And I was like, yeah, okay. But this time with my soap, I usually do like the bright neon colours. Like the first time I did like a Kermit the Frog colour, like very neon. They called it cactus green, but it was like very neon green. Then the block I did last year was Hot Wheels inspired, so it was a dark blue, and then I had like the neon orange going through it. But this year, I didn't do no neon colours. I did like ocean themed. So it was kind of like you have the water, and then you've got like the foaming of the waves on the top, and I use the back of a spoon to get like the little wavy patterns going. So I did like a light blue with it's a creamy white. So it came out really good. We did, I think it was like a sage, sweet pea kind of smell. Sage and sage and bergamot? Mum and I did similar sort of scents, so we just did different designs because it was just such a good scent. And then my brother did like a very masculine sort of scent. I think they call it Dakar or something. Smelled really good though. Honestly, 10 out of 10. But it's so good to see like how much easier it gets the more you do make the soap, which sounds like, yeah, dirt shit. But it's surprising, even though you're only doing it once a year, how much you kind of remember once you start like doing it. But it's just nice to have a day out with people where you're making it. The person has all the stuff already, knows what to do if it goes wrong. Like, it's just having that support there, having that community there. That's like really nice to do all that. Wow. So yeah, that's been my soap making. And then, oh my god, so my work laptop died the other day. So I was working from home and I just got off this phone call. Laptop had been working perfectly fine all day, right? And then there's this little like flash on my laptop screen because it's connected to a second monitor. And then the screen just goes really dark black. And I'm like, oh, maybe I bumped the brightness thing, blah, blah, blah. No, it was on full brightness. It was like the backlighting or whatever that lights up your actual laptop screen had died. Like, I'd seen a flash of white and I was just like, oh yeah, maybe that's the brightness thing, blah, blah, blah. No. So anyway, I had to go in the next day, obviously, because I'm like, I can't see anything on my laptop screen. Like, I need my laptop screen because everything's sort of driving off that. And then they gave me a new laptop. And then I had to spend like 2 hours setting it up because it just, like, even though I have, like, everything's on, like, OneDrive or whatever, I had to, like, download all the apps that are, like, my sector specific, and then I didn't have any of these company drives that I needed. And then I put in an IT ticket because, like, IT people at the desk thing had gone home. And then this person was just like, oh, you need to press this button in your start menu. And I'm like, I don't have this button in my start menu. And then they were like, oh, it will come. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, is this a 24-hour thing or is this a couple-hour thing? And they were like, oh, a couple-hour thing. And I'm just like, well, I've had this laptop since 9 a.m. It's now 4:30 p.m. I don't have, I don't have that button. Like, should I contact you if it doesn't show up tomorrow? And they're like, yeah. Anyway, after the restart, it showed up. So I was like, okay. But then it locked me out of all of my, like, emails, my, like, Teams messages, my OneDrive, because it was like, well, your device isn't compliant with your company's standards. And I'm just like, how the hell can they give me a laptop that isn't compliant with their standards? So then I take it down to IT. I'm like, hello, I'm back again. They did not know what was wrong. Here's the thing, they kept, like, doing things on their computer to it and, like, resetting it. Then they had to go talk to somebody about it because it's just, like, they've never seen it before. Then they did what they did. And then after 50 minutes, it's like, okay, your device is compliant. I'm like, great. Thank you. Perfect. Then, at, like, 3 3:30 p.m. it comes up again and goes, your device is non-compliant. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they sat there and did this stuff today. I'm like, is it a problem with my laptop? Is it a problem with the Wi-Fi here? Is it a problem with my actual, like, account that connects everything? So then I took it down, and then after 10 minutes they got it, and it just has to sync or something, and I'm just like, well, if I'm stuck out at a client site and this happens, like, is there an easy fix for me to be able to do it? And they're like, no, we have to, like, reset it from our end, like, our admin end. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, been having fun with the laptop, but the laptop has, like, Face ID now, so I'm just like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it can do a fingerprint scan to, like, log me in, but then my fingers were, like, too fat for the button, and that just wasn't really working out, but I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, and then I also wanted to talk about, so my work bag, I need to talk about it, okay. So, my first work bag was like a bobby bag, backpack, meant to be anti-theft, and then you can, like, hook all your, like, portable chargers and stuff up to it through the bag, so then you can just, like, plug it into a port in your bag and charge it easier, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I think I spent like $50 on that bag, and it lasted me for 2 years. Like, it was pretty destroyed. After the 2 years, had been through a lot of airports, been through a lot in life generally, you know. It just wasn't made for the amount of content that I was taking. So then I was like, you know what, I have, you know, my laptop, I might have a portable second screen, I've got all my tech stuff, I need pens if I'm ticking things up, I need to take a lunchbox, I want some deodorant in my bag, I want pills in case I get a headache or anything in my bag, all of that kind of stuff. I'm like, I need a bag that's going to fit all that stuff. So I went, what about a duffel bag? So I did some research and I was like, okay, I want it to be waterproof, like that would be beneficial. I want it to be able to last me for like 3 to 5 years. I want something tough, right? So I was like, all right, I'll look at outdoor, like North Face, Patagonia, kind of, you know, Cotopaxi kind of places, right? Like outdoor adventure brands. So I got it down to Patagonia Black Hole and North Face Base Camp because my bobby bag was only like 20 something litres and I ended up going with the North Face Base Camp extra small, which I think is about 35 litres, and it does fit most things in it. And what I liked about it over the Patagonia is the choice in sizes, because 35 litre is big enough, but it's not like massive on my back, which I was afraid that the Patagonia Black Hole would be. And you know, it's got the backpack straps and it's not that big, and then it's, you know, it's not going to get that heavy that the backpack straps are going to like hurt my back, because they're not really padded right, because they're not made to be permanently attached. I liked all the handles the North Face had on it. You can grab it from any sort of angle. It had a little front pocket. It had a nice big inside pocket. I was like, okay. And when I was looking at it, it was on sale from like $200 down to like $150 or something. And I'm like, okay, perfect. This bag has been great. I can compress it. I can make it bigger. It fits under the seats at airports really easy. It's waterproof, which is great. So if I'm, you know, walking out at work and it's raining, the stuff inside is going to stay dry. Like, that's really beneficial. What else is it? Like, it's just, it has been doing what I thought it would do. But some days, like, the big main compartment zipper is a bit dodge. We'll say that. And I'm like, I've also been using it for, like, hikes and stuff if I need to take more than just my camelback. So it's been getting a lot of use. Took it to Tassie, so it was like my Tassie day pack kind of thing. has been extremely useful. Have been using it, and it's been about a year and a half now I've been using it. Very easy to clean, just wipe it over with a cloth, or I'll get in and, because the base is like fabric, so I'll get in and like scrub the base. But here's the thing, I've cleaned it, I've disinfected it, I've scrubbed it, but it's like there's these white marks, and it looks like sunscreen kind of marks on the bag that I just can't get off the bag no matter how much I scrub it, pre-treat it. Like, I just can't get it off the bag. Then there's also just some like little peeling coming off the bag as well, in spots where you can just see like the underneath thatching. And I was like, I wasn't expecting this to happen for at least like another year and a half. Like, yes, I've been using it a lot, but like a lot of people are like, oh, like these bags you'll easily get like 10 years out of, like blah, blah, blah. Like, am I getting my money's worth out of it? Yeah, but like I was expecting for a product of like $200 usually that you start doing wear and tear a lot later down the line rather than like a year and a half in. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just, not that it's not good. Like, I have bought their medium-sized one in like the red, green, blue, yellow summit kind of colours. Just if I need to pack more, but like, it's just, I don't know. I just thought that it wouldn't look this disheveled this quickly, but I have been using it a lot, but it was just surprising. So I don't know if I'd buy it again as a work bag and give like Patagonia a go, or whether there's just going to be like another brand. But I just love that it's waterproof because I don't have to worry about it in the rain, which is the best thing I've found. And then everything just sort of fits in that one bag, which I do also love. I do love that about it. There are a lot of benefits about it, and they're easy to clean, but it's just surprising to me how quickly it's sort of like looking disheveled is what I was surprised about from a brand like North Face, which I thought was a bit more up there in the quality. So yeah, anyway, that's been on my updates, and I thought for today's episode I didn't really have like a topic to do, but there's been so much going on with YouTube drama, YouTube news about people that we have previously covered. I thought it'd be good if we do like a little catch-up episode, a little what's been happening with some of the people we have talked about in previous episodes. So let's sit down, let's do like a little gossip session. Grab something to eat, grab some water if you haven't, grab a little fun beverage, and let's get into the drama. So, the first person I did mention in the last episode that I want to talk about today is James Charles. Okay, and the whole Spirit Airlines situation, because it just evolved. So, let's just break it down and do a recap of the whole Spirit Airlines situation. So, basically, James Charles got on video. With, he got on video to rant about this person, right? He got on video slamming this girl. So, Spirit Airlines shut down and 17,000 people lost their jobs. And she was, you know, like, it's hard to find a job in this economy. It's hard to, you know, the bills don't stop. You still got to put food on the table, and just because you lost your job, you know, life doesn't stop, okay? Like, nobody's going to be paying your bills, etc. for you. So anyway, she needed to find some income while she was looking for another job. So she decided to start a GoFundMe and then reached out to all these influencers, etc., to see if any would donate to her GoFundMe. Anyway, what I found out is that there are 3 different types of DMs that like a business influencer account has. Number 1, your private DMs. like you or I would have, okay, like a conversational DM, you follow the person, you've been having a bit of back and forth chatter. Number 2 is message requests from people that follow you. So people that follow you that have sent you DMs. Third is just a free-for-all, people that don't follow you that have just decided to send you a message. So he was in those DMs, the third type of DM, free-for-all DMs, I'm going to call them. And he comes across this person's message asking if he could donate any money to help her survive, help her live. He decided to sit down in a video on TikTok, mind you, okay? Because if you don't follow him on like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, right, you wouldn't know what's happening because he's kept it very separate, okay? Very separate, and this is very like smart marketing. Well, a smart move on his part to contain just to one area. But what he failed to remember is that people migrate, and people would go to his YouTube, look at a YouTube video and comment like, how could you do this, blah, blah, blah. And so then the people that only watch him on YouTube are like, oh, what did James Charles actually do? And then they start researching, right? So anyway, he gets in a video, he rants about this chick, asking for money, saying, you're lazy, go get a job, I could have applied for 100 jobs, blah, 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 like, you don't even follow me, you've never supported me, like, why the hell would I give you money, like, you are lazy, you are privileged, blah, 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 like a horrific thing. People blew up because he just showed how out of touch he is, how narcissistic he is. It was a whole thing. Like, Jackie Aina even came in and was just like, look, you haven't had to work a 9 to 5, you haven't had to clock in, clock out, you have been handed this privileged life. You haven't had to worry about putting food on the table, you haven't had to worry about whether you're going to pay rent or whether you're going to eat, you haven't had to worry, I think she called it like a W-2 or something, which I think is just more an American thing, but basically you haven't had to worry about a thing in your life. So then he comes out with an apology on TikTok to try to save face, which didn't go down well, and he deleted. Then he put up another sit down, talk with me TikTok apology. Okay, mind you, none of this has touched YouTube. Okay, and so in this sit down apology, the camera angle is very much so you're looking up at him. It's meant to be that you are sitting down, chatting to him, that you're just like the girlies. And he goes, yeah, I was wrong. Like, I've now had to, like, been talking to people that work, and like, now I understand that the job market's really hard and it's hard to get a job, and a lot of people are looking for jobs, and that the economy isn't so good, and like, he had to go into like the real world to find out about like little case studies. But here's the thing, I think it's so strange what people get heated about, because you and I are just like an average 9 to 5 working people kind of thing, right? He is privileged. He's never had to do that. But we are the people that pay, I don't watch them, but like, the common folk are the people that watch his videos, okay? People that aren't in like the top 5% of the wealthiest people in the world, okay? You get what I'm saying? Just like a regular Joe, you and me. We are the people that put food on his table, put money in his pocket, help him with, get engagement, etc. And people draw the line at getting offended by that, but not his allegations, which he did kind of get in a video and confirm, about talking to underage boys. Like, it's just, I think it's just because more people have been offended and affected by what he had to say, and that it was truly and utterly abhorrent what he said, that they have like personally taken offense to it, and so therefore have personally gone on a tirade to be like, this isn't okay, James, like, you are so out of touch, like, you don't deserve a platform, blah blah blah. So anyway, he gets in a video and he's just like, yeah, I was out of touch, that wasn't the way to go about the situation, basically I'm calling myself out so you can stop calling me out. is basically what he wanted to say there, because he wanted to get back to filming. He went silent for like 3 weeks or something, and then he was like, you know what, I need to keep the money coming in. Mind you, this is the man that sat on TikTok before, like, you remember when that US ban was going to happen on TikTok, like Donald Trump like banned it, or like banned it for 24 hours. I don't know. The ban didn't bloody stick, but basically he was crying about how much money he was going to lose. Like, it all comes down to the dollar sign with him. So anyway, he got in. He first of all donated $500 to the Spirit Airlines thing, and then people were like, only $500, like, you're probably making that in 10 minutes or whatever. So then he donated $5,000. So then on the back of this, GoFundMe reached out to the Spirit Airlines girl and set up a GoFundMe for like the 17,000 people that lost their job at Spirit Airlines to help them out. So a lot of people found them, were donating money, etc. I think at one point GoFundMe was doing like a match for match kind of donation thing for a little period of time. So like that was all happening, and then he donated $5,000. Gypsy Rose Blanchard donated, like, I think she donated. Did she donate she might have done $500. I don't know. There was a lot of celebrities donating, and then like the fact that James didn't donate a lot was suspicious. And then he did send her a private apology. She got in a video or 2 TikToks or whatever, and she was just like, yeah, I don't accept his private apology because, you know, in that video you chose to post it, you chose to post that, like, that's how you really feel, like, own it. And so, yeah. So then he's in this apology video, you know, the second apology video, and he's like, look, this is what we're going to do in the future. And it's just coming across as unorganized, chaotic tax break for him. And it is called the Painted Foundation. So if you don't know, James Charles had a palette, or what do they call it, a makeup company? Makeup company called Painted. And I think it's had one palette. It might have had a couple. I don't know. Anyway, it's his makeup company. Anyway, so he got in a video and he's like, I'm going to start the Painted organization. So what we're going to do, mind you, this is in the turnaround of a week. He's setting up a whole bloody organization. Don't know if it's charity, but like to be tax exempt and stuff, he's probably going to want to make it a charity. He's going to donate $250,000 of his own money. Mind you, he had been putting out that a article or multiple articles were going to come out about him being a billionaire. But anyway, he's donating $250,000 of his own money to this foundation, and it's going to be a 3-tiered process kind of thing. Tier 1 is emergency fund relief. You will go onto this website, you will fill in an application, and then you will or won't get the money. Okay? Who can apply? Apparently anybody. How are they going to decide who gets the money? We don't know. That's a big question mark. How are they going to pay out the money? We don't know. That's also a question mark. They just didn't really think it through. It is live. Like, I have seen drama commentary channels like Peter Mon go in and complete one of these forms. It took him half an hour to, like, complete the form. He didn't submit the form because he didn't need the funding, but, like, you could choose to, like, you have to tell them about your situation. You can choose to have them, like, transfer you the money, or you can have them, like, if it's like an electric bill or gas bill or whatever, you can choose to put in whoever your electric gas provider is, and then they will send the money to the provider to pay your bill, etc. But there's just no sort of governance there. There's just no sort of structure. It is one page. There's no real Q&As. It's just submit this and hope for the best that you are going to receive the funding. So usually you need guidelines and stuff, and for a charity you need a board. Like, you need a governance board. You need people that know, have worked in the industry, that know what they're doing, and I don't think that's James Charles and his team know what they're doing to set up a charity or, like, non-for-profit organisation. Then tier 2 was going to be working with community groups to help the people that they've given like emergency funding to get back up on their feet, get a job, stay on their feet. But here's the thing, who's going to want to partner with James Charles? Because you can't work with like organizations that say help young boys, because he's got predatory allegations out against him. He even admitted to 2 of them that he was talking to underage boys in a video. Like that's not a good look. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just had so much drama and stuff around him that it's just like, who's going to want to partner with him? Like, it's not a good look for any other kind of business to be partnering with him. And if it is also a creative industry, the creative industry school should have those connections and should be able to help those students get a job, right? Like, you know, that's that pathway. But then the 3rd tier, which he said is a little bit down the road, is having scholarships to help fund people to go to these creative schools. And it's like, well, who are you going to be giving the creative scholarships to? Who's going to be eligible? Who can apply? Like, this is all a question mark. And here's the thing. Like, this isn't just something that you can set and forget. There are a lot of legalities around it. Like, you need a board. There's very stringent regulations around it all. Like, this is going to come out, and I reckon it is going to nearly be the end of James just in legal fees, because you got to have certain requirements to be a charity. You've got to be transparent, or the reporting to organizations that you need to do, it needs to be correct. Like, this is a massive undertaking that you just can't put together in 2 weeks and be like, yeah, that's done. Like, it would have been smarter for you to donate more of your money to all the Spirit Airline employees, like that GoFundMe, because it would save you from the future of mess. Like, this is just future messy. And like, there's going to be so much that comes out. Like, there is just so much room for error, so much room for drama here, that it is kind of scary. But this might actually stick, because people might actually take legal action, or if a regulator starts coming after you, like, that is dangerous. So yeah, recipe for disaster. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on that, because that's the end of the James Charles part. And if you want to know more about James Charles' history and what he's done, we have a YouTuber Reckoning video on him, and, well, a podcast episode as well, so go check that one out. And our next topic, which is kind of the biggest topic that we have, it is basically about one of the YouTubers that I usually watch, called Adam McIntyre. Now, I've been watching Adam since he started covering the Dramageddon 2 content. That's how I found Adam. A lot of people found Adam through the Colleen Ballinger situation, which we're going to talk about today a little bit. I still do have to do a whole video on what happened there, because a lot's happened there. But basically, Adam alleged that Colleen groomed him when he was underage. And there has been Becky and Oliver, which have also come out, that have stated that either Colleen or her brother Trent have groomed and talked inappropriately to these underage people. Okay? I say allegedly because I don't want to get sued. But I'm definitely on the side of the victims, because there's just been too much overwhelming evidence. However, Colleen hasn't come out and ever truthfully spoke about it, okay? So, Adam had a whole, I guess, couple of months where he He originally came out with the allegations, I believe, in 2020. And then Colleen shut them all down. Working behind the scenes to shut, like, this 30-year-old woman shut down this, like, 16... I think he might have been 18 at the time. But the allegations were from when he was, like, 16. So she worked behind the scenes to shut that all down. And then then Adam came out with it again, wanted to talk about it. And then it just picked up so much moment. Well, it wasn't actually Adam that started talking about it. It was Cody Rance who brought up the video. Then Adam came in, and then Adam was like, you know what, I'm going to tell my whole story. And then more people came out with similar stories to Adam. They weren't silenced. They were like, this is the time to speak up. And then we got the ukulele song, The Toxic Gossip Train, where she was just making fun of other people. And like, her career has not been the same since. So what's happened, okay, because that was like an abridged version that I gave you of the prior history. So what's currently happened? So if you haven't been around the YouTuber space for that long, there's a annual convention called VidCon. And originally this was started by Hank Green and his brother, like the Fault in Our Stars guy and stuff, because they were doing YouTube before they were doing all of that, right? They started a convention where fans could go meet their favourite content creators on YouTube. They'd have panels, etc. It was a place for YouTubers to congregate, network, etc. and for fans to have a meet and greet. So that's where it sort of all started, right? And then, so it's still going. It has been sold off to like a corporate company now, and it's not as big in my opinion as it used to be. But anyway, Adam got invited to VidCon as a featured creator. So they have featured creators. They're like, hey, these people are really big right now. They're doing things on YouTube. We want to put the spotlight on you. And this has been one of Adam's dreams since he started YouTube. Like, this is the goal. This is the dream. So Adam, for a couple of months, had been hyping up, being like, he calls his audience the muckers. Hey muckers, get tickets, come see me at VidCon, blah, blah, blah. Selling, doing promo the hell out of VidCon. So what happens is at VidCon, the creators get like a secret hotel location where they'll have like networking parties and stuff, but they just obviously don't want fans to find out to come bombard them, like safety kind of things. So one day they had confirmed Adam's flights, booked the hotel, etc. He's locked in. He's coming to VidCon. The next day, they release that Rachel Ballinger is going to be a featured creator. Now, if you don't know who Rachel Ballinger is, you're with the majority of the population, because who is she? She is Colleen Ballinger's sister. Okay, what does Rachel Ballinger do? Rides the coattails of her sister, which is a sinking bloody ship. Rachel and her sister do have a podcast together, but other than that, she hasn't been doing much in the YouTuber space. She's got more of like a testing YouTube channel she'll post, but mainly it's the coattails of her sister. And so you're like, why did they invite her as a YouTube creator if she's not really doing anything on YouTube? It's because they couldn't invite Colleen Ballinger straight. Because here's the thing. A lot of people have still been protecting Colleen. A predator protector, if you will. They still like Colleen, still talk to her behind the scenes, etc. Even after everything that has come out, and do support her. But publicly, they can't be seen to support her because they would receive so much backlash. So as part of VidCon, featured creators can bring a +1. Now, it is weird if Rachel Ballinger comes and she doesn't bring her fiance. But I think a lot of people think, like a lot of drama commentary channels and stuff, which I agree with, think that they invited Rachel because they couldn't invite Colleen. While Colleen wouldn't actually come to the convention thing, she would be there at the networking YouTuber only stuff. Because VidCon couldn't be seen to invite her straight. You know, like, can't be seen to directly invite her. Because there are going to be kids at this convention. And her allegations are were like with kids. Right? So, like, that's not a good look. Can't be seen to publicly support these people, right? So, they were going to invite Rachel to, hopefully her plus one's going to be Colleen. Then they're going to all get together at the networking parties and talk, etc. So, Adam was upset about this. Adam posted a video. He was like, I don't know whether I should go now or not because of all the stuff that she did. I don't want to see Colleen. Like, I don't want to see Rachel. Rachel supports Colleen. Like, it's a whole thing. And so then he didn't know if he wanted to go or not. So then VidCon called him and was like, look, we know that some YouTubers have drama. Okay? Minimized all these grooming allegations down to it's just drama, it's just a conflict. No, it's trauma for Adam, okay? Like, it is trauma for the victims. I think VidCon needed the drama to drum up sales because, like, to be honest with you, I hadn't heard of that since, like, Joey Graceffa was doing Escape the Night. I don't know how long ago that was. I don't know if he's still doing Escape the Night. But, like, this is when YouTube Red was a thing. And, like, Logan Paul had that show. Like, that's when it was big. I just don't think it's as big now, right? And, well, it's just not as popular. It might still feature a lot of creators. But it's just not as popular. So, anyway, they had the phone call. Adam was like, yeah, I still don't know. The muckers were just not harassing, but they were saying this is so low that you invited Rachel. Like, do you just not care? And then people were worried about, like, fans going at each other, like, a whole safety concern, etc. So then after a week, VidCon came out and they were like, we have dropped Rachel as a featured creator. Because they could have just said to Rachel, look, you can't invite your sister as a plus one. But, like, Colleen's has, you know, she had the Haters Back Off show on Netflix, etc. She's just been a big part of YouTube and YouTube's growth in the earlier days. And I think that's just why they've been sort of, like, protecting her behind the scenes. So, anyway, we didn't hear from Rachel for a little bit. Obviously, weren't going to hear from Colleen. So then Rachel gets in, like, this podcast, and Adam reacts to this, like, 3-minute clip of Rachel being like, yeah, I'm just disappointed that I can't go to VidCon anymore. Like, I was looking forward to going to VidCon, blah, 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 blah. You know, didn't acknowledge that it might be hard, that, you know, like, I didn't get mad that it was like, oh, I can't believe these false allegations of my sister is still going around and still affecting us, blah, blah, blah. Never came out and said that. So kind of like, they just know that they're in the hole, like, because they just know, they know that that stuff did happen and that they don't really have a leg to stand on, but they won't, like, choose, like, they do side with Colleen, but they won't come out and, like, adamantly defend her or something. It's just wishy-washy, right? So anyway, that was fine, you know. Okay, she's not going. Adam is going. By the way, Adam is going. He did decide to go to VidCon, I think, before they announced that she was dropped as a featured creator. And anyway, in the video, he also, because her clip was only 3 minutes long or something, and his video was like, I don't know, 20 minutes long, he started talking about how he got reached out to by a production company wanting to do a documentary on Colleen Ballinger and the whole situation. And he had said that he declined the offer because he doesn't think that Colleen deserves to go through anymore, and he's just at the point in his healing process where he doesn't want to bring it up. He's at peace with what's happened. He's worked through what's happened. Like, he doesn't see the point in doing a documentary. And some people are calling him out, and he's like, well, what about the other victims? Like, that's no fair, Adam. If you're not in the in the documentary, like, who else is going to be in the documentary? Because here's the thing, Peter Mom was actually explaining about how documentaries work, because I just found this interesting, so I didn't realise this is how it works. You don't get paid to be in a documentary. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what's the point? Anyway, you don't get paid to be in a documentary, but documentaries start off with somebody goes to like a production company, shops an idea. The production company is either like yay or nay. They'll see who they can get, do up a little sizzle reel, then sell that to like your streaming services or whatever places are putting out content. Think Netflix, Paramount, HBO, Disney, blah, 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 right? So somebody had taken this idea to production company reached out to Adam. Because here's the thing, Adam is a big part of the story, but I just don't know what the documentary could do more of, because all of Adam's story you can just go onto his YouTube channel and watch for free. We've heard of all of Adam's side of the story. We've heard Becky's side of the story. We've heard Oliver's side of the story. Adam and Joshua David Evans, her ex-husband, did a Swoop documentary, which was very well done, explaining the whole situation, their thoughts on the situations, blah, blah, blah. The only person we haven't really heard from, truthfully, is Colleen. But if you're going to do a documentary on Colleen and you can't get Colleen, you need major players in the story to be on the documentary in order for it to get greenlit or add any sort of value to being made. And Adam is a big part of that. So anyway, he politely declined the production email, right, that reached out to him asking him to be a part of it. And then he also said that somebody kept reaching out to him to continue to be in the documentary, and Adam just kept saying, no thank you, I don't want to do it, I'm at peace, blah, blah, blah. So he says in this video, doesn't mention any names, no nothing really, it was just vague. He just said, look, can this person, can you just like enter the person who like keeps contacting me about the documentary, can you please stop? I don't want to do the documentary, I don't want to be a part of the documentary, etc. So then, no names, no nothing mentioned. And it turns out it was Joshua David Evans who brought this Colleen idea to the production people. He and his wife are behind the documentary wanting to get made, blah, blah, blah. Which I didn't really expect. I was expecting somebody maybe like Johnny or Cody Rants, because Cody Rants also came back to YouTube. Like, the timing just seemed a bit too coincidental. Like, there was, like, Joshua David Evans was not the person I was thinking of, and a lot of YouTube drama commentary channels were not thinking of. Because in the Swoop documentary, he's like, I'm at peace, I'm married now, I'm happy, I don't really think about Colleen too much, blah, 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 right? But the reason we know it is Joshua David Evans or Joshua DTV is because he left a comment on Adam's, Rachel video, being like, I'm disappointed in you, Adam. You basically said it was me who reached out to you. Like, I would have thought you would have had enough respect to, like, call me to talk to me about the concerns that you had about this documentary. Like, I had concerns too. I would have listened. You didn't have to, like, bring it up like that. You didn't have to make the beef public. You, like, all these things. I'm like, this does not sound like a man that is at peace. So then you go to his YouTube channel amidst all of this, and like his wife had posted the last video basically saying, yes, Josh hasn't posted for a while, but he's doing well mentally. He's doing fantastic. And I'm like, this stuff isn't giving mentally stable person. Just saying, okay? It's just not, okay? It's just giving somebody that's still working through their trauma, probably needs a bit more therapy on that. You know, it's just it's just such a weird situation. Because Joshua was at VidCon last year. Adam said this. Him and Adam talked. Josh is a YouTube manager now, so he gets invited to VidCon with his talent, etc. But like, why does he want a documentary done? Is what I want to know. Like, what does he have to gain from a documentary being done about a situation where a lot of it was played out online and a lot of it is already out there? Like, to keep messaging Adam, to pressure him to go onto a documentary that he has politely declined for something that he would have to relive his trauma. Not only him, the other victims, if they do choose to also be part of the documentary, but also the parents of those children, those victims, who have to sit there, and if it gets released to like the wider public, have to sit there and cop the backlash of being told that they are bad parents. Should we have taken their internet privileges away? Should we have blocked access to sites? Should I not have taken them to Colleen or Miranda Singh's show? Should I not have taken an interest in what they were doing to, you know, like buy tickets, buy the merch, pay extra for the meet and greet? You know what I'm saying? Like, they would be there questioning the whole time, like, what should I have done differently to make sure my child didn't have to experience this? All while, like, the public perception of them is that they are bad parents for letting this happen to their children. So it's not just like Adam that would be affected, or any of the victims that sat down to do an interview. It's the whole family. There's a whole ecosystem of people that are affected by you wanting this documentary to come out. Like, my thing is, you still have a YouTube channel. Why couldn't you just sit down on a YouTube video and be like, this is my story, this is what I want to do? Because it seems like it's a very much so self-centered to you thing. Like, like they were saying that, Adam was saying that, like, the documentary was originally just really going to focus on Josh and Josh's story. Like, who wants to watch that? Like, it's just a whole thing. But the thing is, it's like, well, obviously if you are pushing so hard for somebody to be in the documentary, you need this documentary to go ahead, and you need this person in the documentary in order for it to go ahead. And yes, it would be interesting with Adam in it, but it'd be more interesting with Colleen in it. But the thing is, like, they are their, Joshua is her ex-husband, right? Colleen's not going to come out against the victims because she's already done that. She lost that battle. Okay, and rightly bloody so. But her ex-husband, that when all the actions in the allegations were all happening, were married, and he could be seen as being complicit and signing off on Colleen's behaviour, like, he can get discredited easily. So if he has the victims in the video, in the documentary, then she's less likely to come out and discredit him as a source. Then if he gets discredited as a source, nobody's going to believe what he says, and therefore I just don't really think this documentary is going to go get on a streaming service. Like, I just don't think it's going to get that far, because just, like, so much of it has already been lived out online, and, like, you're looking at probably, like, 27, 28 before the actual documentary would come out. And then, like, what else are you going to add to the story? Like, I'm confused. Because it's like, this just seems like a money grab for Josh. Like, it feels like it's something that he needs to do in order to get more business opportunities. I don't know whether it be a tour, whether it be a book, whether he's going to go in to sell bloody courses, or like, you know how like trauma survivors will like speak at public events? Like something like that. I don't know. Something's got to change. Something has to change. In order for him to be that invested in this coming out. And it's just so weird. Anyway, then after this video and after Josh left this comment, Adam got on a video and said, look, Joshua, David Evans, please leave me alone. And after this video was posted, within minutes, Josh commented, see you at VidCon, bro, ... sunflower emoji. Now, I saw this posted on Adam's Instagram story before I had even seen YouTube, knew what was going on. So then I was just like, and Adam had the caption like, threatening me now, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh. I was like, that seemed like a really nice kind of thing. I thought they were close, blah, blah, blah. Well, no. Because there's a deeper meaning to the sunflower emoji. So, back in 2016, when Colleen and Joshua were married, Josh was very big in like gossip sites, but he wouldn't want to post from one of his official Joshua TV, Joshua David Evans, like social media accounts. So he had fake accounts, and he'd go onto these sites and he'd comment something catty or snarky or whatever, and he would leave a sunflower emoji on at the end of whatever he was saying, just so the real fans, the fans that were really into Colleen, Joshua, etc., would know that it was him, but it wasn't coming from one of his official accounts. And Colleen would also use the sunflower emoji for when she was like making fun of people. Just, it was an inside joke, the sunflower emoji, which basically then Adam's just like, oh, this is a threat, etc. People are like, Adam, you're going to have to take extra security to VidCon, etc. And it's like, this man is in his 40s threatening a 23-year-old who has been nothing but polite to you in saying, look, leave me alone, I don't want to do this, etc. He doesn't want to relive it. You just have a problem with accepting that he doesn't want to relive it. Okay? It's like, you need to cry, you need to go through pain in order for me to make some money. It's not going to benefit Adam in any way. It's not going to benefit Adam's family. It's not going to benefit Oliver or Becky in any way, because victims and survivors and stuff often still feel a lot of guilt and shame around what happened. And for them to relive that on a possibly international platform that's more mainstream than YouTube is daunting, is a lot, because you open yourself up to having so much of the public judge you and question your life choices. Like, it's a tough gig. So I don't think there's been sort of any more updates with that, but basically I think Adam's just going to get more security, and if they do run into each other at VidCon, which I think Joshua would be trying to make happen, he's just going to say, you know, look, I'll sit down with you on video, but I'm not willing to do anything with you privately. Like, needs this stuff documented. But like, a lot of people are like, Adam has beef with a lot of people. He does, but it's because he calls them out on their hypocritical behavior, and then most of them try to take down somebody half their age. And it's just, and it's like, it's sad when Adam is the one that is acting the most elegant, most graceful in the whole situation of people that are older than him. You would think it would be the reverse, but it just shows the emotional maturity that he has. It just shows the proper upbringing that he's had. It just shows his moral and ethical character. Like, he just calls people out for being hypocrites, and they just don't like it because somebody's calling them out and is not afraid to call them out, not afraid to stand up for themselves, not afraid to speak their mind because it's their life. And, like, if you want to come and ruin it, you better have the correct receipts. Like, you know? So, anyway, that is all the YouTube drama that I currently have to update you guys on. I think VidCon is coming up, so I will keep you updated in the next one about what's going on there. But we're on to my next segment, and it's what have I been obsessed with this month. So, you know how I've been on the running channels and on the running kick. Well, I saw all these, like, people on my Instagram. Okay, here's the thing about Instagram. You like one running video, and now my whole thing is, like, people running, like, sub 25Ks, blah, blah, blah. Then you have people that are coming in, and it's just like, oh, yeah, all these people are, like, elite athletes. You don't need to run a sub 25K. It's actually very rare for people to run a sub 25K. Like, don't listen to them. And they're like, well, I'm a slow runner. And they're, like, running the speeds that I'm running. And I'm just like, yeah. They're like, don't get influenced by these people. Anyway, that becomes your whole feed. And I'm like, far out. Anyway, I saw these people with these waffles, and they're cool. And I found them on Aid Station, where I've been getting, like, my gels from. And the Stroop waffle flavour by the, like, Waffles, I think is how you say it, are delicious, and I'm low-key addicted. Like, that's my favourite flavour, the Stroop waffle. I think it's like a Biscoff or something, because they did I was so confused because they did have a caramel flavour, because I originally got, like, a pack of 4 with all, like, the different flavours in it, and then I had the caramel one, thinking that was going to be my favourite, because I do love caramel. But the Stroop waffle flavour one is good, but it does have a caramel-y taste, but they do have a different one that is caramel, so I was just confused. But the Stroop waffle one, beautiful, loved it, bit addictive, but it's just fun to have, and it's really nice if you just heat them up over, like, a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then it gets a bit warm in the center and gooey. Like, that's the instructions on the back, and oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, they're very good. Love them as a little snack. Then, music-wise on Spotify, I got a bit of a shock the other day, because I was listening to, like, the Spotify DJ, and he was like, oh, we're going to listen to somebody who you listened to last month, and you were in the, like, top 0.1% of listeners for this person for that month. And I was just like, oh my god. And that is Chance Pena. Just had some hits. It was just Chance Pena and Florence and the Machine going. When I tell you I like a song and can just continue listening to that song on repeat for hours and hours, like, yeah. If it hits, it hits, and it just keeps hitting every time. There are just some songs that are like that. And then on TikTok the other day, I saw a video, and it was like this guy, and he's just like, I can't wait till I find my next song and to play it for 5 days straight on repeat and burn that record out. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm glad I'm not the only one that can, like, listen to the same song for hours on repeat, and it just hits every time. I just don't get sick of it. I'm glad I found the community that does that as well. And then, oh my god, I tried a gym bro meal the other day, which was steak, eggs, and avocado, thinking it was going to be plain and boring, but I was like, you know what, I'll see what all these people are on about, and I get what people are on about now. That was bloody delicious. The steak, egg, and avo combo, I don't know why it works so well together, but, like, I only really just had salt and pepper on it. It was the bomb.com. Like, I haven't stopped thinking about it. I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry for being so judgmental, thinking that this was, like, a boring meal, but it is actually really bomb, and it is 3 ingredients, and I was just like, okay, maybe I've got to be less judgy of the gym bro meals from now on. Maybe they are onto something that I really wasn't aware of before, and it kept me full till up to dinner, and I was like, well, this is a bonus. This is great. This is fantastic. Love that for me. I also tried that like new no sugar lime solo thing that they brought out. I don't know if it is new, like the lime thing, because solo's typically lemon, but it's like this no sugar lime thing. Was also bomb.com. Very addictive. Watch out. But it was great. And as a girly that loves her citrus, chef's kiss. Anyway, that is it for today's episode, and I hope you have enjoyed the chaos. And if you're not already, give us a follow on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, and jump onto the Insta if you want to yell into the void with me in between episodes. And remember, life's unhinged, so you might as well be too. Stay chaotic out there.